thanks for joining us today for Day in the Life with Katie. Hi, Katie. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be coming over to you in a moment. I'm just going to give everyone a brief introduction to Supermums if you are new to us, some quick fire facts. We've actually got over, I did some counting of the stats just last night, actually over 339 Supermums and some super dads on training programs with Supermums. They include our admin training, our consultancy course, which is what we're going to have a good chat about with Katie today, and also our marketing course. And we've recently added some really great coaching to go along that to help support you through the programs that we run. On our admin program in particular, our Supermums work with charities on some hands-on projects. So we've got over 100 charities involved and over 100 fantastic mentors involved in our programming all across the globe. You can see that nice picture of the real international feel that we've got here at Supermums. And indeed today, you've got me based here in the UK and Katie based over in the US. So thanks for joining us. Just a quick shout out to our sponsors who make this great work possible. We've got St James's Place Wealth Management, who are sponsors of our administrator course, and Dyson, who are sponsors of our consultancy course. So thanks very much for them to making this happen. Right, we are going to come back to give you some more details about our courses after we've had a chat through with Katie. So thank you very much for joining us. Do you want to just give us a brief introduction to yourself, who you are, where you are?
Sure. So my name is Katie Koenig, and I am based in Atlanta, Georgia, in the US. And I have 3 children. My oldest is a junior in college, and she's actually studying MIS, which is exciting. And then I have a daughter who's a senior in high school, who's about to graduate, and a son who is a freshman in high school.
So I bet they keep you really busy.
Very. Never dull moment.
And now you've thrown in some added training as well. So kind of tell us a bit about your story of what brought you to thinking about Supermums. You obviously got a lot on there, but we're thinking about kind of relaunching your career. What made you decide that Salesforce and Supermums was the way you wanted to do that?
So my husband, I guess it was about 3 years ago, had suggested that I check out Salesforce. My background prior to having a family was in sales and marketing in the hospitality industry. And he is a user of Salesforce with his firm. And he just thought that it would be something that I would really be interested in learning so that I could upskill a little bit as I was starting to look at career opportunities as I re-entered the workforce. And so I found Trailhead and studied on my own, was able to get my admin certification. I'm a huge fan of Trailhead. But as I was just trying to take a deeper dive into what I wanted to do with Salesforce for my career, I realized that I probably needed a little extra support along the way. And I was particularly looking at the consultancy track down the line. And so I came across Supermums, and I've heard some of Heather's presentations through different podcasts and webinars, and was very impressed with everything that she has represented and has done. And so when I saw the consultancy course, I thought it was just it would just be a no-brainer to jump right in and try to take advantage of all the resources that she was offering.
So what I guess what particular skills or particular qualities were you hoping to gain from the course, and are you learning those at the moment? Because you're still taking the course right now, aren't you? So how are you finding it, and are you learning what you were hoping to?
Well, definitely. Well, and originally, so I was looking to get my second certification. I was looking at the Sales Cloud consultancy certification. And so that's when I really jumped right in, because I thought, well, this will be a great fit. I can study along the way and learn and network with some of the other individuals in the cohort. And so early on in the program, I was focused very much on getting my certification, which I did in August, I think it was. And then, but everything that we were learning in the course very well complemented what I was studying to get my certification, and then some. I mean, everything that Heather does, she does to the fullest extent. We've learned so much about both the processes of engaging in a consultancy project, and then also but there's skills that contribute themselves to any role in the ecosystem, even for an admin who is helping to facilitate projects within her individual company. Everything that we're learning with the project management side of things and eliciting requirements for the project, and the agile methodologies that are in practice very often in IT roles. So many great skills, and it's there's been some information overload. I'm definitely still working my way through some things, but the great thing is I can keep going back. And then she's given us so many wonderful templates that I've been able to just use in my own projects that I'm working on in some freelance work that I've been doing. So.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we get a lot of feedback about with the consultancy course is how practical and transferable it is, especially for people who are kind of, already in work. That's really directly applicable, really useful tools that you can use. And you said you're using it in some of your work at the moment. So do you want to talk us through a little bit about kind of what you're doing now?
Sure. So knowing that I was re-entering the workforce, there's this, it's kind of a little bit of a catch-22 with Salesforce. Obviously, you can learn Salesforce, but you do need the hands-on experience. And so I knew that it was important for me to get hands-on and be able to maybe do some pro bono work with a nonprofit or another company. And so I took about a year to do that, and worked with a sales cloud rollout, and had worked with a small nonprofit to help them get up and running on the nonprofit platform. And then now I am working on some other projects, but not on a pro bono standpoint anymore, which is kind of nice to be able to actually start getting to get paid for it. But one of the great benefits of Supermums is that I have just created such great relationships with the other individuals in the course. And so I've been able to collaborate with some of them as well, and get advice on projects, and talk through things, maybe when we're all wondering which direction to take things, or we run into a challenge or a roadblock. Everyone's just been so supportive to be able to help each other along the way. That's Salesforce is what they say. It's the great, it's this Ohana. It's this great support system, and then you get the Supermums in there too, and it just gives you such a different sense of confidence, because you know that it's not just you responsible and able to solve these problems, but you've got this huge amount of resource of other individuals who are there to support you and help you also. So.
Yeah, and that is such a wonderful thing about, as you say, Supermums, but also the Salesforce kind of Ohana, as they call it, in the ecosystem. All their help and support is there. You just need to make the connections and ask for it. And that's why the course is great, because I know sometimes when you're entering Salesforce, that bit of it can seem quite overwhelming because there is so much, but we aim to kind of give you that helping hand and that introduction into all of that. You mentioned there the word confidence, which I think is a big thing, especially for lots of mums or dads who are perhaps coming into the workforce after being out for a little while, or perhaps this is just a real change of track for them, a real change of career. So I want to talk a little bit about throughout this journey, maybe from when you first started with Salesforce, not just with Supermums, like how have you felt throughout that process, and how have you coped with maybe the moments where you didn't feel so confident, and how more recently have you built that confidence?
That's like just such a great part of this whole process. One of the things that drew me to Heather was the one of the women's summits that she did in, I think it was July timeframe. It was this past summer. And I was at that point in this relaunching process where I was starting to learn these skills. I wasn't 100% sure which direction I wanted to go with it, like how I was going to use the Salesforce skills that I was learning. And, again, as a relauncher, I'd spent quite a few years taking care of my family and as a caregiver for one of my parents. And even though I've been doing a lot over the years from a volunteer standpoint and leadership roles with foundations and nonprofits, I still lacked that confidence that it takes when you're re-entering the workforce. And getting involved then with Heather, I heard her talk on the summit, and it really just talked about reevaluating your values and your strengths, and just doing a deep dive into who I was, what I was bringing to the table, even and looking at it from the standpoint of, I'm still the same person I was before I had children. And after I've had children, except I've got a lot more years of wisdom right now, um, but she reminded me that I still have all of those strengths and abilities that I did. And now I can translate it into a role with Salesforce. And, and really the opportunities are limitless. And so Heather, something that I think she is so great at bringing to everything that she does is she's a coach. She has a coaching background. And I think something that is so integral for anyone that may be in a similar situation as myself, where they're either pivoting because it's been a difficult year economically all over the world and people are looking for new opportunities. But there's this imposter syndrome can really take its toll on you, and that lack of confidence sometimes. And I think having somebody like Heather who can help coach you through that also, and just help you focus on what your strengths are and what your goals are and what you bring to the table, it's a game changer. It really is. And then to have the cohort who is all like-minded and offering support along the way also, it really it's been fantastic. It's been really kind of life changing, really, because now this is a whole new season of my life that I just never even realized what it could offer up. And she's given me the confidence to realize that I can go forward and pursue it.
Oh, that's so great to hear. I'm so glad to hear that. And especially around things like the coaching, because that is a fairly new addition to our courses for this year, because we realized how important, we were planning on doing it anyway, but then with everything that's happened this year, it has become extra important in helping people who have come, perhaps weren't expecting to have a career change this year, but have been forced into it through circumstance, and helping you understand what your strengths are and being able to see this as an opportunity to move forward, because there are so many opportunities within Salesforce. But it's about finding which one is the right one for you. So yes, now part of our consultancy course or the administrator program or our other courses marketing program includes these coaching sessions that you can come to as well. And I think they really are an integral part of that success. And we always say we're not just about training you to get your certifications. We're training you to be successful in the ecosystem. And a big part of that is about your confidence and feeling like you're ready to go and take hold of the opportunities that are out there. So it's really nice you mentioned that. And I believe, or you mentioned Heather's Summit as well, and I believe a lot of that content is still available. So we'll make that available in a link below this video later, so everyone can take a look at that if they haven't already. So you sound like you've kind of come a long way and feeling in a really great place, having kind of taken the training and built your network up. I guess what's in the future for you? What are your plans and ambitions around the kind of role you want and the certifications you want to get?
Well, I definitely am gravitating towards I'm very project oriented. So I do like the idea of being on consultancy type projects. I think I tend to be pretty analytical, and I like to ask a lot of questions and figure out the solutions and pull the whole puzzle together. So I've been really pursuing more information on a BA type role within the ecosystem. So I also know that I need to continue getting a lot of experience to be well-rounded and to be good at a consultancy or a BA type role. So, but I am currently interviewing, and then I'm also, like I mentioned, working on some projects with someone else from the cohort, and just taking it one step at a time. But again, it's something else we did recently, which was just fantastic, was we looked at all of our LinkedIn profiles and we started talking about the ways to network and just position ourselves from that standpoint. And I forgot how much I love talking to and meeting new people and just finding things that you have in common, and hearing about other people's journeys and how they've gotten to where they are. And so by doing that, it's really just, again, helped me to make some really incredible relationships all along the way in different realms of the industry. So.
And you never know what those relationships are going to bring, right? So it's useful to have, your plan to an extent, but with some flexibility within that, because you never know where these opportunities are going to arise. Like through meeting someone else on the course, you've been able to have this opportunity to do this freelance work that you could have never have known that was going to come, and that could be the plan. But it's kind of making yourself open to those opportunities so that you can take advantage of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I mentioned, I'm re-entering the workforce, but, not to date myself, but when I was younger and starting out in the workforce, there was no LinkedIn. There was no, the internet wasn't even really like, we had the internet, but there was not the networking capabilities that it has now. And there's so much to be said for that. I think, it's great to get your resume out there on these larger job sites and whatnot. But I think the real key component is networking and meeting people and knowing yourself to be able to understand which direction you want to take it, so that you start then talking to people who can help you either build up those skills that you need to build up more, or can kind of help to enhance them along the way. So I think the networking is so crucial.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to that confidence as well, that we hope we can help you build through being able to go to someone and say, hey, this is me, this is the value I can bring, maybe we can do something together. Or and that aspect of it is kind of really important as well, that confidence to go out there and network with people, be that online or hopefully at some point in real life as well.
Someday, we hope, right?
Are you a member of any of the kind of Trailblazer community groups at all?
So I've not been super involved in the community groups on Trailhead and Trailblazer. There's obviously the women in tech groups, and there are some specific to the Atlanta area. Yeah. But when I started on Trailhead, I just started looking into them, and then COVID hit. And so I haven't had an opportunity to get in and really start meeting people in that sense. I've met a few via LinkedIn, but not actually in person and in some groups yet. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. Fingers crossed, that is part of our 2021 plan, is to be able to get together in person again and just start meeting more people in my immediate area too, because it's great. I've met people all over the world through Supermums. I'm like, I don't know that many people in Atlanta in Salesforce.
Yeah, that is what they're great for as well. One of the first things was join your regional one, and join your one that, if there's a product specific one that you're interested in, join that one too. And they're kind of, because there can be so many, it can be a little bit overwhelming to know where to start, but definitely the local ones are really good. Supermums, obviously, and then the local ones are a really good place to start. Yes. I guess it would be nice to round up with, is there anything you'd like to say to someone who's thinking about the consultancy course and wondering about if it's right for them? Is there any kind of words of advice you'd give them, I suppose?
Honestly, I'd say jump in. Sometimes it's difficult, especially during times like this when we may be stretched financially. But if someone is looking to either make a change or to expand on their skills that they have, as I mentioned, I think the consultancy skills that we learn are transferable to any job in the ecosystem. It's so valuable, and even outside the ecosystem. But the skills that we learn are, I can't even begin to say enough about how practical everything is that we learn from a business perspective and a coaching standpoint and working with teams. But I think it's also important to realize that sometimes, even though we may be stretched a little bit financially, we have to invest a little bit to be able to really take that extra big step. And that was something I had to remind myself. And that's where some of that confidence kind of comes in. I was having doubts. Can I do this? Can I do this? And had to just take that leap of faith and say, okay, I'm doing this for myself, because I know that this is a direction that I want to go in, and I want to be able to give myself this opportunity. And it's paid back exponentially at this point. So not necessarily, like from a financial standpoint, it has and will, but it's paid back in so many other ways that I can't even think of not having done it now.
No, yeah, and again, it's about having that confidence in this mentality of kind of, you're worth it. It's worth that investment, that little bit each month. And I think also it's around the accountability as well, isn't it? Because sometimes when you have paid for something, it does make you think, okay, I need to crack on with this now. And it helps you kind of be committed to that goal that you want to achieve, so that each week you are doing a little something to move you towards that goal that can sometimes feel, on tough days, it can feel quite far away. But when you've got the community around, and with each other, you're taking these little steps towards it, that can be kind of motivating. I think that's kind of an important point of the community as well.
Absolutely.
Hopefully accountable.
We all need a little accountability.
Well, it was really great to chat. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll let you get back on with the rest of your day, and best of luck with whatever it is you're going on to do next, and enjoy the rest of the course.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.